They won't tell you this in most doctors' offices, but I will because you deserve the truth. For men over 60, death often starts in the penis. That's not a joke or exaggeration. It's a medical reality. When blood stops flowing down there, it's not just about performance. It's about survival. Your body is trying to warn you that your arteries are stiffening, narrowing, and struggling to deliver oxygen to your brain, your heart, and your most vital organs. And it all starts in one place most men choose to ignore until it's too late. I'm Dr. Laura, a board-certified men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping older men restore their circulation, their energy, and their confidence. I've treated thousands of men just like you. Good men, smart men, who were never told what I'm about to share with you today. Because here's the shocking part. You can reverse circulation decline without medication. And it all starts with one powerful food found in nearly every grocery store, but almost always used the wrong way. This one food, when consumed properly, can flood your arteries with fresh blood, revive your energy within days, and restore the vitality you thought was lost forever. In just a moment, I'll reveal what this food is and how to use it for maximum effect. But first, you need to understand why circulation collapses after 60 and how to restart the healing process before it's too late. Before we dive in, if you're serious about restoring your circulation and reclaiming your energy after 60, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss another tip made just for you. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me make this content even more helpful for men like you. All right, now that you're here and now that you understand just how critical circulation is to your health, your energy, and even your survival, let's get to the truth. Because the real danger isn't just what's happening in your arteries, it's that most men over 60 are completely ignoring the early warning signs. So, let's start there with the hidden signals your body is sending and why what's happening down there is actually the first red flag that something much bigger is going wrong inside. I want to take a moment and talk to you man to man. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I've lost count of how many good men came into my office believing their body was just getting old. They were convinced that soft erections, cold hands, weak legs, or a fading drive were simply part of the deal. They blamed the clock. They blamed time. But they were wrong, and I'll tell you why. What those men didn't realize is that their body wasn't just aging, it was warning them. You see, circulation doesn't just fall apart overnight. It begins with small, quiet changes. You start waking up without that morning vitality. Your hands and feet feel cold more often. Maybe you get winded climbing stairs. You find yourself needing more rest. And yet, you never feel rested. These aren't just random signs. These are whispers from your arteries telling you they're narrowing, hardening, struggling to do the job they were built for. Here's the truth. Circulation loss doesn't begin in your heart. It begins in your smallest blood vessels. And the very first place many men notice it, their manhood. Yes, it's uncomfortable to admit, but it's also the single most reliable early warning sign we have. When blood flow to your pelvic region slows down, it means your entire cardiovascular system is in trouble. And sadly, most men ignore this signal until it's too late, until something breaks, physically or emotionally. Let me tell you about David, a 66-year-old former construction foreman who came to see me after his wife noticed he'd been avoiding physical intimacy for months. He told me, "Doc, I figured this was just what happens when you get old." But when we dug deeper, David revealed a pattern. He'd been experiencing cold hands and feet for over a year. His energy would crash around 2 p.m. His memory wasn't as sharp as it used to be. What David didn't realize is that all of these symptoms were connected by one common thread: poor circulation. Think about it this way. If your car started making strange noises and losing power, you wouldn't just accept it as normal wear and tear. You'd take it to a mechanic. Yet when our bodies send similar warning signals, we often just blame Father Time. But your body at 60, 70, or even 80 is still capable of remarkable healing when you give it what it needs. But the good news is this: your body is incredibly capable of healing. You just need to give it the right signals, starting with one critical molecule that almost no one talks about, but every man over 60 needs more of. It's not a supplement and it's not a drug. It's already inside you. The problem is, after 60, it starts to vanish, and that's where the trouble begins. Let's talk about it. I still remember the moment I truly understood how powerful this one molecule was. It was years ago, and I was treating a man in his early 70s, retired, proud, quietly struggling. He told me with tears in his eyes, "Doc, I don't feel like myself anymore. I feel like I'm fading." His tests were normal, his heart rate was steady, and yet everything about him screamed low energy, low confidence, low circulation. That's when I introduced him to the truth about nitric oxide. Within weeks, his color improved, his posture changed, his voice had life in it again, and he wasn't the only one. Nitric oxide is your body's natural vasodilator. That's a fancy way of saying it tells your blood vessels to relax and open up. When they do, blood flows freely, carrying oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and life itself to every corner of your body. It's what allows your heart to pump efficiently, your brain to think clearly, and yes, your manhood to stay strong. But here's the kicker. By the time you hit 60, your nitric oxide levels have dropped by more than 75%. That's why you feel slower, colder, and more tired. It's not just age, it's a silent deficiency. Imagine your blood vessels as garden hoses. When you're young and nitric oxide is abundant, these hoses are flexible, responsive, expanding, and contracting with ease. Blood flows like water through a wide-open faucet. But as nitric oxide declines, those hoses become stiff, narrow, kinked. It's like trying to water your entire garden through a drinking straw. The science behind this is remarkable. Nitric oxide was discovered by researchers in the 1980s, and the scientists who uncovered its role in cardiovascular health won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1998. This isn't alternative medicine. This is Nobel Prize-winning science. Your blood vessels are lined with cells called the endothelium, and when they're healthy, they produce nitric oxide on demand. But as we age, these cells become damaged and less efficient. I had a patient named Robert, a 69-year-old retired accountant who came to me convinced his best days were behind him. He'd been to 3 different doctors, and everyone told him he was fine for his age. But Robert didn't feel fine. When we tested his nitric oxide levels, they were barely detectable. Within 2 weeks of restoring his production, Robert called me excited. He said, "Doc, I feel like someone turned the lights back on." You can think of nitric oxide like the spark plug in a car. Without it, nothing fires the way it should. Your circulation stalls, your energy dips, your performance suffers, and no amount of coffee supplements or pep talks will fix what your chemistry is missing. But the beautiful part, you can build it back up naturally, safely, and quickly. And it doesn't start in a pharmacy, it starts in your kitchen. In fact, there's one simple, powerful food that I recommend to every single patient who comes to me with poor circulation. And when you prepare it the right way, it can flood your body with nitric oxide within hours. So, let me show you exactly what it is and how to make it work for you. I've prescribed everything from medication to therapy over the years, but nothing has surprised me or my patients quite like this simple natural food. When men hear beets, they tend to picture a soggy side dish from childhood. But what they don't know is that inside that humble root lies one of the most powerful circulation boosters nature has ever created. And when it's prepared the right way, it can help restore blood flow, oxygen delivery, and vitality in a matter of days. What makes beets so special isn't immediately obvious. NASA has been studying beets for years because astronauts in zero gravity experience rapid cardiovascular deconditioning. NASA discovered that beet juice could help maintain cardiovascular function even in space. Olympic athletes have been using beet juice as a natural performance enhancer for decades, improving athletic performance by up to 16% in some cases. Beets are loaded with natural nitrates, compounds your body converts into nitric oxide. But here's where most people get it wrong. Cooking beets destroys much of their nitrate power. That's why I recommend beetroot powder instead. It's concentrated, shelf-stable, easy to absorb, and works faster than fresh beets. But there's one trick that makes it even more powerful: adding a pinch of black pepper. You see, black pepper contains piperine, a natural compound that enhances absorption by up to 2,000%. When combined with beetroot powder, it helps your body unlock and use every bit of circulation-enhancing nitrate available. All it takes is 1 tablespoon of beetroot powder, a small pinch of black pepper, and 8 ounces of water. Stir it up and drink it 30 minutes before your main meal of the day. Most men feel a difference in energy, clarity, and even confidence within the first few days. The timing matters because your body's nitrate conversion process is most efficient when your digestive system is preparing for action. The black pepper trick is based on ancient Ayurvedic principles validated by modern science. Piperine doesn't just enhance absorption, it also reduces inflammation in blood vessels. One of my patients called it his daily spark plug. After just 1 week, he was walking longer, sleeping deeper, and waking up feeling like himself again. That's the power of giving your body what it's been quietly begging for. Let me share Frank's story. He was a 71-year-old retired teacher who had tried expensive supplements and complicated diets. When I suggested beetroot powder and black pepper, he looked skeptical. "Doc, if the answer was sitting in the grocery store, wouldn't everyone know about it?" 3 days later, he called me. "I don't know if this is coincidence, but I woke up feeling different, more awake, more alert." By week's end, Frank was convinced. 6 months later, his wife thanked me personally, saying, "I have my husband back." But if you really want this to work, if you want to unlock the full benefits, you need to clear the path. There are habits men over 60 unknowingly follow every day that are quietly working against them, choking their circulation no matter what they eat. Let me show you what they are and how to fix them fast. I'll never forget George. He came into my office looking worn down, not just physically, but emotionally. 68 years old, retired firefighter, proud father of 4. He sat across from me and said, "Doc, I just don't feel like me anymore. I'm not sharp, I'm tired all the time, and I can tell something's not right down there." His blood work wasn't alarming. His numbers were technically normal, but I knew what he was describing was far from healthy, so I asked him to trust me. I put him on the beetroot powder and pepper routine, made a few small changes, and told him to call me in 7 days. On day 3, George called me not to report a miracle, but to say something had shifted. He felt a little warmer in the morning. He wasn't dragging his feet out of bed like before. He said, "I can't explain it, but I feel like there's life moving through me again." What George was describing is what I call the circulation awakening. It's subtle, like the first hint of spring after a long winter. The warmth he felt was literally improved circulation to his extremities, better blood flow reaching his hands and feet for the first time in months. By day 5, he noticed he wasn't waking up at night to use the bathroom as often. He was sleeping deeper, waking up clearer. This is a classic sign of improved circulation. When your cardiovascular system works efficiently, your kidneys don't have to work overtime, and better circulation to your brain improves sleep quality naturally. On day 7, his wife called me, not George. She laughed and said, "Whatever you gave him, don't stop." That phone call illustrates something profound. When a man's blood flow improves, it transforms his entire presence. His energy, confidence, engagement with life all improve. The people closest to him notice the change. That's what happens when your circulation begins to return. You don't just feel it in your body, you feel it in your confidence, your energy, your relationships. This isn't theory. This is what happens when you give your blood vessels the fuel they need to wake up and function again. But here's the truth. George didn't just take beetroot powder. He added one powerful morning habit that made the effects work faster and last longer. It's a technique borrowed from European clinics, and it takes only 3 minutes in the shower. Most men have never heard of it, but when they try it, the results speak for themselves. Let me walk you through it. I've learned something after decades of working with older men. It's not just what you add to your life that changes things. It's how you support it that determines how far it goes. You can take all the right foods, the right vitamins, even the right prescriptions, but if your daily habits are working against you, your progress will always feel like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's why when my patients begin using beetroot powder, I also give them 4 simple daily practices. These aren't extreme, they're not time-consuming, but together they breathe new life into your entire circulatory system. The first one is a 3-minute contrast shower, starting warm, then going cold, then warm again. I know it sounds uncomfortable, but this vascular workout is like a gym session for your blood vessels. It forces them to expand and contract, strengthening their responsiveness and pushing fresh oxygen throughout your body. Some men tell me it's the best part of their morning. Invigorating, calming, and oddly empowering. This technique has been used in European medical spas for over a century. The Germans call it Kneipp therapy. The science is simple. When you expose your blood vessels to alternating temperatures, they become more elastic and responsive. Think of it like stretching a rubber band. Start with warm water for 90 seconds, switch to cold for 30 seconds, then back to warm. You don't need ice-cold water, just cool enough to feel the difference. The second is a 5-minute walk. Not a power walk, not a jog, just a slow, deliberate walk, focusing on heel-to-toe motion and contracting the calf muscles. Those muscles act as a second heart, helping pump blood back up to your pelvic region, right where many men need it most. Your calf muscles are called the peripheral heart because they play such a crucial role in circulation. When you walk with intention, really focusing on contracting your calf muscles, you're massaging blood upward through your circulatory system. This is particularly important for men over 60 because gravity makes it harder for blood to return from your lower extremities. Then there's breathing. Deep belly-centered breathing 3 times a day helps deliver more oxygen into your system and reduces stress hormones that restrict blood flow. Most men don't realize how shallow their breathing becomes with age. A few minutes of focused breath can make a big difference in how your body responds to everything else you're doing. When you breathe deeply from your diaphragm, you create a pressure gradient that helps blood return to your heart more efficiently. Try this. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, then exhale for 6 counts. The longer exhale activates your vagus nerve, reducing stress hormones that constrict blood vessels. Finally, the way you sleep matters. Your position, your room temperature, even the angle of your bed all impact nighttime blood flow, and that's when your body heals the most. Sleep is when your body does its most intensive repair work. But many men sabotage this with poor sleep positioning. The optimal setup includes sleeping on your back or side, keeping your bedroom between 65 to 68 degrees, and elevating your legs slightly if you have circulation issues. But all of this works better when it's part of a plan. So, let me show you exactly how to fit this into a simple, doable daily rhythm that gets real results starting from the moment you wake up. Sometimes what a man needs most isn't another theory or lecture. He needs a clear plan, something he can actually follow day by day, step by step. That's what I began creating after years of watching my patients struggle to turn advice into results. Because while information is everywhere, transformation only happens when you know exactly what to do and when to do it. So, if you're over 60 and serious about reclaiming your energy, your strength, and your blood flow, here's the 7-day routine I give my patients. The same one that's helped countless men feel like themselves again. Each morning starts with hydration. At least 16 ounces of room temperature water with a small pinch of sea salt. It wakes up your circulatory system and prepares your cells to receive oxygen. Then, the contrast shower. Just 3 minutes, but it sets the tone for the whole day. After that, deep breathing. 6 seconds in, hold for 4, then exhale slowly for 8. You'll feel calmer, clearer, more grounded, sometimes within moments. Before your main meal, take your beetroot drink, 1 tablespoon of powder, a pinch of black pepper, and 8 ounces of water. Drink it slowly like it matters because it does. In the afternoon, a 5-minute walk. Not for exercise, but for flow. Let your calves pump that blood upward where it's needed. Evening is your time to unwind. Just a small glass of water, no heavy meals, and deep breathing before bed. Sleep on your back, knees supported, room cool and dark. This plan isn't complicated. It's gentle, intentional, and powerful. Within 7 days, most men feel more alive than they have in years. But for lasting transformation, you need to nourish your body with more than just routine. You need fuel. Let me share with you the top superfoods I recommend rotating each week to keep your blood vessels open, flexible, and strong. These aren't pills. They're nature's best-kept secrets, and they work. Over the years, I've seen something remarkable. Men who stay consistent with the basics begin to feel better fast, but the ones who go a step further, the ones who start to feed their bodies with the right kind of fuel, those are the men who truly transform. That's why I always recommend rotating in a few key superfoods each week. They don't just support circulation, they repair the system from the inside out. Let's start with raw garlic. I know it's not glamorous and your breath might take a hit, but it's one of nature's most powerful blood vessel relaxers. The key is to crush a fresh clove. Let it sit for 10 minutes to activate the compound allicin, then swallow it like a pill. One of my patients called it his old-school Viagra, and honestly, he wasn't wrong. Then there's pure pomegranate juice, no added sugars, just the real thing. A small glass on an empty stomach in the morning delivers polyphenols that protect your arteries and boost elasticity. Within a week, many men report clearer thinking and better stamina. Don't overlook watermelon rind either. That white part you usually toss. It's rich in citrulline, which your body turns into arginine, a precursor to nitric oxide. Blend it into a smoothie, and you've got a potent boost to your blood flow. And of course, leafy greens like raw spinach and arugula. Packed with natural nitrates, they keep nitric oxide flowing throughout your entire system. Add a handful to your lunch or smoothie daily and watch the difference over time. These foods aren't magic, but your body is. And when you feed it what it's been missing, it knows exactly how to heal. Still, food alone isn't enough. To truly change how you feel, how you move, love, and live, you have to believe it's possible. Let me leave you with one final thought. One truth that most doctors won't say out loud, but every man over 60 needs to hear. I've met so many men over 60 who walk into my office looking defeated, not because they've given up, but because somewhere along the way, they started believing that decline was their only option. That loss of strength, energy, desire, and drive was just the cost of getting older. I'm here to tell you that is a lie. And the longer you believe it, the more life slips through your fingers. This isn't just about food. It's not just about circulation. It's about freedom. The freedom to move without pain, to wake up with purpose, to laugh with your grandkids, to stand tall beside your partner and still feel like a man. You were never meant to fade. You were built to adapt, to repair, and to thrive. Your body is waiting for you to give it a reason to fight back. The practices we've covered, beetroot and pepper, breathing, walking, sleeping right, rotating the right foods, they're not just random tips. They're signals. They tell your body it's time to come back to life. And the moment you begin, that healing starts. Not someday, but now. You have more control than you think. And no matter how many birthdays you've celebrated, it's never too late to reclaim your energy, your strength, and your spark. You just need to believe that you're worth it and take the first step. So, start today. Your heart is listening, your body is ready, and the best years of your life, they might not be behind you. They might just be waiting on the other side of better blood flow. If this message spoke to you, if even one part made you feel seen, understood, or inspired, please take a moment to like this video, share it with a friend or loved one who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below. I read every single one, and if you'd like to support this channel so we can continue creating honest, life-changing content for men over 60, consider making a small donation. This is Dr. Laura. Every bit helps us keep the message alive and keep your health front and center where it belongs.